Good morning to you. Could gas come in and save the day here as our energy prices increase again?
Absolutely, Jane. Thank you for having me once more. Definitely, as we saw at the end of last year, Total also found a second piece of gas condensate field off the South African coast. So together with the finds in Mozambique, we now have quite an abundance of supply of gas in the region. And a lot of infrastructure and gas to power required to actually unlock the value behind that.
Okay, so what's it going to take until we can use it, and what's your relationship with government and Eskom, and how will all of that work?
Yeah, I think what it's going to take is a coordinated effort between government, Eskom, the private sector, like companies like Total, Sasol, who are currently quite well invested in the gas space and in the gas infrastructure space. We have existing pipelines that run from Mozambique into South Africa, bringing gas from existing fields in South Mozambique. There's going to be a lot of investment. There already is a lot of investment going into LNG infrastructure and really making gas available to the market. So creating that supply corridor for gas is going to be critical to enable gas to power sectors. Eskom, as you know, has established the transition sort of committee and projects where they're looking at their current coal fleet and understanding how they can transition those coal fleets from either to renewables or potentially even to gas into the future. So that fleet also could potentially be a key enabler to allowing gas to power to grow to South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't that be great when we finally resolve this this energy issue, which has been taking way too many years? And obviously, once you've got stable energy, investment, interest in South Africa will increase, more stability.
Absolutely. I think you've seen that already with Total's finds. There's now been an increased interest in the gas landscape in Southern Africa from foreign investors wanting to understand how they can participate in infrastructure to move gas, but then also how to participate in the independent power program. As government now announces another round of bidding for independent power into the grid, we see the role for gas, around 3,000 megawatts in the years ahead as well, for other forms of energy. And I think that's attracting a lot of interest in terms of investment, because we are still a power-hungry country, and we are still one of the most industrialized nations on the African continent. So we're still going to need a lot of power going forward. And I think there's a lot of interest from the investor community to help enable that.
And I know one of the focus you touched on briefly are the pipelines. I mean, how complicated will that be?
Yes, I mean, luckily we have some transmission and distribution infrastructure in the country from a gas pipeline point of view, through the vast network that Sasol and others have been, and Transnet have in place. It's critical because moving gas from where it is to where it needs to be consumed is going to be important. So building more pipeline infrastructure is important to enable the transmission of gas so that we can get it to gas to power stations. And I think government and the CSIR have done some studies already in the space around where the infrastructure can be placed and what it's going to take to enable more pipeline infrastructure. So I think certainly a journey to be traveled there. But before we get there, we might have to look to depend on things like LNG, where we import gas into the country because pipeline infrastructure takes a while to develop and grow. And we would need to obviously put that in place over some time.
All right, let's leave it there. Question ready. Thank you.